following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Hi, Isaac. Hey. How you doing?
Oh, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MLO Bros. Tonight, we are having more polling guests on tonight, talking with Eric Ungaro as well as Chief Greg Wilson, Township guys. So, should be fun.
Before we bring them on, sponsors. November. Good night, guys. Good night. My children are home and I can't. Good night, guys. Don't forget about we have the bomb, the car bomb show coming up on November 10th. Did you hear about that?
Car bomb show?
Car bomb show. Not Irish car bombs like the drink.
But
It's actually a show. We'll post on it when we get through here a little bit. I got the clip to show everybody, but it's pretty cool. So they're sponsoring us. It's the guys on the Mob Talk group. Did you ever hear that?
Oh yeah.
So they're coming on the show next week.
So it is Youngstown Car Bomb.
Yes, exactly. So all right, let's bring on Mr. Ungaro and Chief Wilson.
Hey.
Chief, can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got to get this levy passed. We can get you an updated computer.
It's fine. I just it's not working tonight. It just doesn't want to work for me. It must be you. It could be the short shorts. I don't know, but it just doesn't want to work.
Isaac,
Not short tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
You hurt him somehow, like with your short shorts. Was it a basketball practice? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just something that's in my mind that just won't go away. Like every time I think of you, I think about those incredibly short shorts that you were wearing.
It's amazing.
I do it for you, sir. I do it for
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Isaac, what you need to do is you need to go to the Township building right outside his office window and act like you're working out. just like doing like calisthenics, exactly, like right in his office. And I'm pretty sure that's a public spot, so I don't think he can kick you out.
I don't think there's anything you can do about it. Yeah. That's a good point.
Eric, what's going on? How are you, sir?
What's going on, fellas? How are you guys?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good. You guys got a lot of stuff going on over there in the old township right now, huh?
All good stuff. So, no drama. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, right. No doubt. So where do you guys want to start? Chief, you want to talk? So you guys have the police levy, right?
Yeah. So it's a pretty simple concept. There's one little caveat to it that makes it worth talking about and explaining. Yeah. So 1971 there was a expense levy, a current expense 5-year renewal, 2 mills. It was passed by the township residents. Come around to 1981, it was a police levy. It was again this one was a continual, and it was for 2 mills as well. Due to the growth of the township, it has now reduced to the 0.98 mills. So what happened is in last year, we received a letter from the Ohio State Department of Taxation who said that we can no longer collect that 1978 tax because of the wording that was on the ballot.
Okay. So
they said that as of 2024, we can't collect it anymore. Trustees.
Wait, they could go back in time to 1978.
Yes.
And say it wasn't valid.
Yes. That's what they did.
So Luke, to make it real simple too, like Chief is 100% correct, but it just had to do with us and probably about 20 other townships in Ohio.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an incorporated entity as a township, you have to tax villages, cities, and things like that, and that tax was not being taxed on the village. From whatever, like Chief said, what was it, Chief? 71 or 8?
78.
78 all the way through. So they went, this isn't just like a Pullman Township thing. This was about 20 townships throughout the state of Ohio that got hit with this wordage.
Wow.
Or
So
you got to
because
figure like this. Back in the day, there was a lot of handshake. Hey, we're this, we're that. Now everything's documented. It's on the internet and like it's computerized. So, it could have been, it was a glitch. It's nobody's fault, but we were one of 25, or I don't even know the exact number. Canner might have it, but that just, fell into that category and, we had to deal with it. So
it was because the village wasn't included in the tax?
Yeah, whatever that wording is, Chief. I don't know if you know the wording. Any incorporated area in the township need to be taxed unless you were actually like a fire district or a police district. Where at the time, I think that was the intent, Chief. Is that accurate? It's just the documentation maybe have been a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. So back in 1978 and 81, we weren't a police district back then, meaning that all the taxes would have had to been levied amongst the village and the township. It was mid 90s when we did become a police district, and there was a levy passed in the mid 90s, and that one's okay because we were a police district at that time, and we were only collecting that money from the township. So essentially, in 2023, we've collected the taxes that were to collect is the 0.98%. So that's exactly what we're going for. We're going for a new levy. It's a police levy. It's a five-year renewal for 0.98. It's the same amount of millage that we've been collecting. And the only caveat to that is, like I said, the only thing that makes it a little bit, hard and things that we need to explain to people is when you go to the ballot, it's going to say that it's a new levy. Because in actuality it is, because we're losing the 1978. The trustees are saying, hey, look, let's pass this levy in 2023 and we'll get rid of the 1981 levy as well. So there's 0.98 and then we're going for 0.98. So it's just a status quo levy. We're not asking for any more money. We're just asking that, we continue to receive the same amount of money so we can operate the way that we have been operating for years.
Wow, talk about a bad time to have that happen to you right now, huh? It's been like a worst possible time. Holy crap.
No, and quite frankly, we understand that. And the trustees were, they've talked about this. They've talked about it in open meetings, and they said, hey, look, we know what's going on. We know the temperature of our community. And right now it's not the time to raise taxes. It's not the time to play around this. It's time to recoup what we're losing so we can continue to police, and serve our community the way that we have been doing, which, from everything that I've been getting is, just people are happy with the things that we're doing out there and have been doing.
For sure. How about that, Isaac? The government says, hey, you guys did this wrong 45 years ago.
And I think to add, though, one thing to add to what Chief was saying is, so then we had to look at what was it, Chief? 81 levy or 80, whatever levy?
81
levy, which came under the same status as a police levy. So we sent it down to the prosecutor. We got legal advice on, does this fall under a police district? And they said, hey, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So we just kind of took like a forward-looking approach and said, hey, look, here's the bottom line. If this passes, we're getting rid of that because eventually they're going to come back on us. Because like as Chief said, on paper, we know we were a police district in what, Chief? 90, whatever. Like
95, I believe was the year. It was mid-90s.
So we're just, hey, this passes. We're getting rid of 2 levies, going into 1. It's the same millage. Nobody's paying anymore. But like you said, Luke, it's a goofy time to be going with this, with just taxes going up and property values going up and school levies and just the atmosphere of the community. But we just wanted to make sure we get out there as much as we can and say, hey, it's apples to apples. You're not paying anything. You're paying 500. You're paying 500.
It's going to be the same. There's no added.
Nothing. And we were adamant. Our board was 100% on board. We said we don't want to include the village. They got their own issues going on. They're trying to pass a police levy, and we do not want to raise anybody's taxes. We just want to keep what we got coming in, do a little due diligence, and combine them and move on.
And the village again, it's still just the township paying for this, not the village.
Township.
I'm sure we have people.
Yeah, nobody's getting hit anymore, nothing less, nowhere, anywhere.
Wow.
I gotta ask it. If it doesn't pass, how much would it go down for the average person?
No, I think you put it like this: you're paying a 1978 millage.
Okay.
I mean, that might be like $50 a year for some people.
Yeah.
You understand what we're saying? Like, we're not even putting a replacement levy on. We're not even replacing it with 2023 standards.
It's just
this is something, your house right there. I don't even know if it was built in the 70s. You guys live in castles. But I mean, my point being is, anybody who lived in a house in 78, you're paying the exact same millage now that you were then. It's not any different. So, if it goes down, the only thing we're not going to do, Chief, you would agree, and I mean the trustees, we said it, is we're not going to eliminate the 81 levy. So if this passes, then we're saying we're going to combine the two. The 81's gone as well. So, so there you go. Armageddon hits. It doesn't pass. Okay, we're out. Whatever the 78 levy, because the state already said we're doing away with it. Like, we have no choice over that.
Yeah.
But we are saying we're willing to get rid of the 81 levy if this passes. If not, obviously we're not going to, write the county and say, hey, get rid of this as well. So,
right. Wow.
That sound about right, Chief?
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
How, Chief, from again, and I'm still trying to figure out this, get my head around this millage. Someday we need to have somebody on to explain like millages for us and like how that works, and like you guys are saying, because that is the most confusing freaking thing ever. And we need like a class on it someday, Isaac. The millage and the year and the house value.
We're doing our thing. So isn't it the property values time? Isn't it times the millage, that number times 1,000 or divided by 1,000 gets you.
Yeah. 1,000. 1,000's the number. Yeah.
But then it's based on the year and everything. Like, there's so much to it. Like, it's.
But to simplify it, like Eric was saying, and that's why we're trying to keep it simple. It's 0.98 millage. That's what we collected last year. We're asking for 0.98 millage. We're not asking for any more. So that's the simplest way that we could put it. We can't say, we can't say, hey, you're going to this and you're going to that. It's 0.98 millage. That's what we collected last year. That's what we want to collect this year. And that's the simplest form that we can say it. Like you said, we can get have Cantor PJ come on and explain the millage and taxes and everything like that. That's he's our fiscal officer, and he does a really good job. But for us, layman's term, 0.98. It's a wash. We want to continue doing a great job for our community. We want to continue doing what we're doing. We have so many new programs. Eric and the trustees brought in the SRO years ago. The three trustees put an extra guy in the high school, put an extra guy at Holy Family. So we're doing so many great things in the community, and we just want to continue to do those types of things. And we need this money, to do that. If you take that money away from our department, it's going to be hard to continue to do, all the things that we're doing right now.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have a lot of good things going in the township too. Like you said, all that stuff. Every police officer I've met is friendly, it's amazing. It's amazing the crew you have right now.
It's great. When we went over that the last time, we went over each officer and they do a really nice job for us.
I forgot the video. I have a video that I was going to share. I'm going to post it after of one of your guys at the cheerleading thing. Did you see? Did you see the video?
At the what?
It was at the Poland, the Little Bulldogs.
It says cheer or go to jail.
And he had a sign behind the cheerleaders, cheer or go to jail.
It was Zach.
Yeah, it was Zach.
You lived with him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was because this big, huge guy holding the sign behind the cheerleaders on it. Dude, it was hysterical.
I was
So-
lifting. I was lifting with Zach the other day.
So a funny story behind that is, and this is where age and experience really helps you out. So Sergeant McCrae, he has, there were family members that were involved in that, competition. So I think he kind of knew what was going to happen there with the sign. And he was, with the whiskers of being a seasoned veteran, he kind of pulled this young guy in and said, "Hey, I need you to help me out here with this." And then the next thing you know, there's Zach holding up a sign with a bunch of cheerleaders saying, cheer or go to jail. And Brian's the one behind the camera taking the pictures.
Oh,
So
dude,
That's
it was
awesome.
good. It was good. It was
Me-
good. You could tell Zach Zach was loving. I mean, how do you say no to a bunch of little cheerleader girls asking you? There's no way. I mean,
yeah.
it was cute.
Zach's great. I got a funny story about him. The other day we were lifting and I was probing for information on that case with the gas leak out in
house that blew
Poland.
up in the
Remember the
township.
house that blew up? That happened a month or two ago, whatever that was. So I was probing for information and we're lifting, and he's like, the only thing he gave me was I was the first one to respond to that. And then I go, do you hear about that rumor with like the family member or whatever? And he's like, I am not telling you. And I kind of like smirk at him. He's like, I am not telling you anything. He's like, I know you and I like my job. I'm not saying anything to you or your brother. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Smart moves.
So you know how some police departments have like the FBI's top 10 most wanted, and they have charts like, I don't know if you ever seen that in police departments. We have our top 10 of people who you don't talk to, and like you two are the top 2 on there.
Like the press. Like, don't say anything to these guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know what you're doing. You're probing for information. Just stop. I'm like, okay, got it.
So we'll get back into the levy a little bit. I do want to talk, since we have the chief, we had and Eric too. And I know Eric is not going to agree with us on this one. I know it.
Okay.
Because we've talked about this before. And I know the chief's not going to agree with us on this either.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? And we talked about this last week. If you're not watching, we had to talk. And actually, I was going to bring it up with Chief because we knew he was coming on. Issue two. Right. So we're talking, that is the league. I knew Eric and I have talked about this on the phone before. What are your thoughts? So from Greg, from your police chief and the legalizing marijuana. And I know Eric, because Eric is into the red zone and all that. I know that's going to be a hard no, but I did want to ask, Chief. I mean, what's your take on that?
So, my take, coming from the, administrative side of law enforcement is my take is that I allow, or not I allow, but the citizens will vote on it.
Yep.
And whatever they vote, that's how we're going to respond. If they vote to legalize it, then, we'll have to, what happens with us is because obviously we're law enforcement. So, even if the state of Ohio legalizes it, we're still gonna, have to figure out how we're going to handle that as a law enforcement agency internally, because obviously we can't have, employees coming to work, smoking a joint or something like that just is won't happen. So, what we did a couple years ago is we partnered up with Lexipol. I think I talked about this on the last program. Lexipol is a company out of California. And I'm sure, being out of California, they already have model policies that are written. So they'll send us a model policy. Anytime the law changes, we get an email, and it's a model policy on, the changes in the law and, the industry standards on, how to handle it. So we'll get an email, and they'll say, hey, these are, the industry standards on how you're to, handle this with your employees. And, that's what we'll do internally. And like I said, if they keep it that it's, not legal, then we'll just continue doing, what we're doing. It's a, and again, I want Eric to have his time to talk about this, because this is something that he deals with and he's very passionate about. But if you watch, so BCI, for instance, if we pull somebody over and we seize a bag of marijuana off of them, BCI won't even take the marijuana unless it's, a certain weight. or it's trafficking in marijuana, to test it. So we don't even have test results to go to court to prove that it actually is marijuana. Yeah.
That's a bag of oregano, sir.
Yeah, and even when they were, if you would look at the cost of the police departments, logging it, taking reports, putting it in evidence, taking it from evidence to BCI, having it tested, bringing it back, to after it's been tested, and you're doing all these different things, and it's a minor misdemeanor. And the majority of the time, those all are plea bargain to like a disorderly conduct, minor misdemeanor. So it was a lot of work and it was a lot of cost for what the end result was going to be. It would most likely be a plea bargain or throw it out completely. So they quit testing. So, essentially, that's where we're at right now with marijuana. And the only point that I have before and again, I want Eric to have his time to speak what he wants, but I did listen last week because I saw we were going to talk about it and I wanted to hear what your conversation was. Yeah. And the only thing, Isaac, that I would bring up is you were talking about that and Luke brought up a good thing. Okay, well, why don't we just legalize meth? Why don't we legalize heroin?
Yeah.
Where do you stop? Where is the point? Right now, marijuana is not legal federally. The federal government saying it's not legal, and the state of Ohio saying it's not legal. So if you legalize marijuana, then my question would be: is what's next? Are we gonna mushrooms? Mushrooms?
Psychedelics are next.
Correct. And then is it LSD? Where does it stop? And that would be my only concern is that once we open up this Pandora's box, so to speak, where does it stop? But go ahead, Eric. I want to give you time to talk on this.
Mr. Ungaro, your thoughts on issue 2?
Can you hear us?
Eric?
Uh-oh, he froze. Let's kick him out, and then Eric, rejoin if you can hear us.
The Bears.
So kick him, and then
he was getting ready too. He was ready to go off.
While we're waiting for him, my argument to counter that, Chief, would be if obviously weed is already culturally recreationally approved, because if the police pull somebody over and you're saying they do all this stuff that's kind of like, oh, we know it's not that big of a deal, but it kind of just, we got to go through the process and all this stuff. If all those processes are in place and we're just avoiding them, isn't that the same thing as it basically being recreational? The only thing is it's kind of leverage for the police that if they wanted to do something, they could, but they just choose not to. As a citizen, I don't like that because I would rather not let them have that leverage over me. Does that make sense?
No,
I don't. I just don't like. Luke, do you get it, or were you listening at all, or no?
I was trying to get Eric on.
So so you want it in black and white. Is it legal or isn't it legal?
Yeah, but I don't want to do the dance of, it's not a big deal. We get it, but it's like you still have that power over me as a citizen, and I don't like that.
It's kind of like it's like a speeding. When people are speeding, officers have the discretion whether they want to give you or not, whether they want, but whether they will issue you a ticket or not issue you a ticket.
That's interesting.
Their discretion.
There is discretion to that, is there not? I mean, that is
totally.
If I'm speeding, right?
Yeah.
Great example. Going down 80, I get a ticket. Okay, this is a couple years ago, right? Like 3 weeks later, a month later, Maggie with the baby driving down 80. She gets away with it. Same exact.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
So why does the cute blonde with the baby in the back get away with it, and I get a freaking ticket? Like that's discretion, right? I mean, right? Or like how does that work? I mean, it's the officer's mood.
I can't speak to that certain situation.
Right.
I know for me, like, and again, it's been a long time since I've been on the road, but when I was on the road, one thing that definitely mattered was somebody's past history with speeding or other violations. If they had 6 or 7 speeding tickets in the last year, well, they're probably going to get their 8th or 9th now. Whereas if they've been driving for 60 years and never had a ticket,
Chief, I have a question. If it becomes legal and I decide that I want to do yoga in the front yard of the Poland Township Police Department wearing my short shorts and smoking a joint, can I get arrested for that? Just like doing
really short. He's just gonna retire. He's done.
Can I get arrested for that?
You can get arrested for wearing those shorts. That's disorderly conduct right there, my man. Like that's not right.
Chief Wilson's just gonna come out and he's just all you're gonna do, you're gonna be doing that, and the next thing you know, you're gonna be on the ground waking up from a taser shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say he wanted to be tased.
Tase me and go back inside.
He asked to be tased, and I'll go on a stand and say he asked to be tased.
Immediately tased him. I don't know what Eric's doing.
Yeah, and again, Eric comes from a place, he's in charge. He's on the board, president of the board now, and he is completely against the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, and Eric and I have talked about this. This is I don't want to take away from him, but he's trying to log on. It's not coming on at all. I mean,
I heard him say something about a battery.
Okay, yeah, his brother, Isaac, I don't know if you knew this or not, passed away from drugs.
I did know that. I remember that. Yeah,
we've had this conversation before, and it's a good conversation because I said legalize it. I don't care, right? But he is more of my brother died from drugs. I will not do this. And it's like, that's a personal thing where you're like, that makes sense to me. Why he's saying that?
He's gonna have like the gateway drug argument, probably.
Oh, yeah. But again, it's like, but that's something that personally affected him. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? If he died of drugs, if he died of drugs, I don't think I could sit here and be like, hey, legalize issue 2, because you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So that's
another thing you brought up, Isaac, was you were talking about Chief Lambert and the work that he did with the DEA task force, and the money that it brought in. And so right now we have one officer that's assigned on a part-time basis to the Mahoney Valley Law Enforcement Task Force Drug Unit. And that's what I was on for 18 years. And then what happens is you send it's a task force. Area agencies send an officer to this task force, so it's made up of, I think there's like 3 guys from Austin Town, 2 deputies, 1 guy from Liberty. Who else? There's a BCI agent on there. There's a parole agent on there. And I'm probably missing one. There's an ICE agent on there as well. And essentially what they do is they form a task force and they do investigations on narcotic trafficking. It's a HIDTA task force, HIDTA, high intensity drug trafficking organization. That's what they're funded through the majority of. So Chief Lambert was on that with me. Chief Lambert and I both, we knew each other from working at Poland prior to this, but then we were both sent to the drug task force right around the same time. And so we worked a lot of cases together. And then he actually went to the DEA task force. The DEA, FBI, ATF, they have what's considered local task force officers. So they give them a commission to help, combat whatever, or investigate whatever they're investigating, federal crimes. So Chief Lambert went to the DEA task force. Now, one of the good, so the DEA, they do a great job. That's all they do. They investigate narcotics, drug trafficking. This isn't like, somebody's selling, a couple pills, on such and such street. This is large distributions, a lot of telephone wiretap cases, things like that. So whenever you have a big case like that, and you do, there's multiple search warrants, there are different, enforcement things that go on, and at the end of investigation, a lot of times you seize drugs, cash, and money. Drugs, cash, and guns. There's also seizure of like cars, seizures of houses. You can seize property from people whenever you're able to prove that property is proceeds from drug trafficking. So then usually in those cases, a federal judge, there would be a plea agreement that is reached. And during the plea agreement, whoever, is pleading out would say, hey, take all that, it's all yours. And, you go from there. And that's how they did that. And the DEA actually disperses a lot of those seized money to the local police departments. So that's how Poland Village was able to do that. Now, the trustees have authorized me to reach out to the DEA, which I have done. Right now, they're full of task force officers. They don't have any right now. So we're looking to get involved in that as well. And again, for us, it's not the issue of making the money. It's an issue of being part of an organization that is combating drug trafficking, because when you can cut the snake off at the head, it helps, because we do, there are people in Poland that buy drugs, use drugs, and if you can get to their distributor, wherever that may be, then that helps, the situation out.
I am my last day is Thursday, Isaac, on the grand jury.
Okay.
Right. And I don't want to talk about everything. I have so much to talk about with the grand jury stuff that I've been holding in for 4 months, because like what he's saying with these arrests and stuff like that, dude, it is insane. Insane.
Did you call attorney Yakovone? Did you talk to him about that name that I asked you to talk to him about?
Yeah, as soon as I said it, he knew it was you. As soon as I said it, and he's a good dude. The prosecuting for the grand jury, Yakovone, he's from Lobo, good freaking guy, and his girl Casey, who does this. They're like, we've given the prosecutor's office a whole bunch of crap with some of the stuff they've done in the past. But these people working in this department, I mean, they are really, really, really good people, and they care. You can tell they care. So it's been good. Eric, can you hear it?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. My computer went down. You hear me?
Yep. Renee says, let him speak. So we were just talking about the drug stuff and the arrests and everything. So, Mr. Ungaro, what do you think of issue 2?
No, I mean, I'm voting no. I mean, that's just, mine's more of a historical perspective on, just being a coach and teacher for 30 years, seeing kids struggle with this stuff, seeing my uncles and my brother, ultimately die of this. Everybody could say it's not a gateway drug. I've never met a dude I grew up with that was smoking weed all day that was productive. So,
True.
I don't, the people who speak. It's a different time. It probably cost me the election in the inner city because, they've done a nice job of making it like more of a minority and a poor thing. A lot of minorities are incarcerated because they had a nickel bag. There's white dudes walking around that got picked up with kilos that got off. So, my point is change the law. Don't just lower the bar and make everybody in society numb. So, they could talk money. The schools are still waiting for the lottery money. I see guys playing Keno and the number every day. Schools are still struggling. So I'm just an old school. A lot of my family members, after seeing what my brother went through, they just want to legalize everything. Hey, give everybody clean needles. Everybody has their opinion. I respect everybody's opinion. Mine, even though it cost me elections, it cost me votes. I'm just against it. And again, it's 30 some years of being a teacher and a coach, and I've never seen a kid who starts out smoking weed at 18 years old that goes that really like just kicked it in. Now our guys chewing gummies. I got a lot of professional guys that chew gummies at night. I mean, I get it, man, but my opinion is my opinion, and that's how I'm voting. It's the same way abortion thing and everything else.
While you were gone, I talked about, I don't know if you remember, we had a good talk on the phone a while ago about weed and everything else like that. And it was like I said, it was interesting hearing your point of view, because I mean, you, like I said, if Isaac died from a drug overdose, I don't know. There's no way I could, it's like a personal, it's like the way and you're voting the right way, Eric. You're voting from
you vote for what you deal with. I mean, there's still
Right.
people that think drug addicts are bums. There's people that think mentally retarded kids are weird. Until that shit hits your home.
Yeah.
So it's like, I have many conservative friends that are like, oh, a child's life, I'm anti-abortion. Well, unless some God forbidding thing happens to your daughter, and then you want it. Like, so everybody's opinions on these hardcore, like crazy issues are driven by personal experiences in life. And that's why when I see people fighting over it and acting like they're political, like they're John F. Kennedy or Ronald Reagan, like, just shut up, man. Like, just let people vote the way they want.
Beautiful.
And it's based on just your upbringing and what you've dealt with in life, and that's it. Be respectful.
Dude, that
Eric,
is everything I believe in right there. You vote from your heart, not your political party.
That's it.
Right there. 100%.
Can I ask you about your brother? How is he?
Yeah.
Was he younger than you or older than
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was younger. He was. I even Chief will tell you. Like, I've been speaking at like CIT trainings, where we have officers that come in. It's like crisis intervention, and they just talk about, like, they needed to see, like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a white dude whose dad was mayor, who didn't, dad didn't beat him, or just like no crazy stuff. We've had addiction in our family our whole life. We all struggle with it. Every one of us in our family. But he was younger than me. He had everything going for him. He was a General Motors worker. Had a shit ton of money. Had all the good-looking girls. He had the nice hair. He didn't have to shave his head. But back then he had a hernia surgery, and he was prescribed OxyContin.
Oh,
there it is, Isaac. There it is.
Yeah. So, but again, at the time, and I do talk about doctors, because at the time, there's a lot of doctors making a lot of money, but, the media was, these are habit forming, not addicting. Chief will tell you, he saw it going on, but it just wiped out a whole generation of dudes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so, but you know what? Some people could chew a couple OxyContins, put them down, and go away. Like, some people could drink a couple of drinks, and that's it, not drink the rest of the week. Some people could, he took them, he partied with them, and I knew there was a problem when he came to me. He's like, oh man, these are the greatest things I've ever chewed. I could drink all night, and I could be with women all night. Like, it just became, it was some people are wired a certain way. So he ended up losing his job. He went down the gamut. Then eventually you're in the heroin and things like that. But people talk about like moms and dads struggling. Luke, you can attest to that. I mean, when you're close to your brother, you would think in your heart that you could go tell Isaac, hey, shut up, man. This is what you need to do. He would listen to you, 90% of the time. Yeah. But when you're on prescription meds, it's like you're talking to a blank wall, but you still carry that burden if something, God forbidding, would happen to him. Like, there's a lot of guilt that you carry around as a brother.
I'm sure.
Moms and dads just pack it in, man. Like, they're just like, I tried and nothing I could do. So I just try to stay as active as I can, and deal with my own issues. And
how long ago was that, Eric, when he passed away?
2012. And actually, it was
graduated.
My birthday's Thursday. He was buried on my birthday, the 26th. He died on the 21st of 2012. So it's
wow.
But it drives me. I'm president of the mental health board. We just try to help as many people as we can, and we've come a long way. And actually, Poland and Chief knows. I mean, we were the first township to actually get trained in Narcan training, because back when he died, really just first responders were carrying Narcan. Be that ambulances and things like that. So we were actually the first township that went under Sheriff Green's kind of training. And I think, Chief, JR had the first save, like in Mahoning County as an officer. But you know what? that's something to be proud of, because we made it easy for every other township to, say, wow, man, Poland's cops are trained in it. And, that was a testament to them, because cops were fighting it back then. They didn't, the unions really didn't want to get into the, let's just keep saving the same dude over and over again. But our guys did, they stepped up, and, we made it easy for the whole township, really the whole county. I mean, Mahoney, Trumbull, everywhere. So
I didn't know that. There you go.
yeah. I mean, that's interesting facts. I mean, the same with the resource officer. 12 years ago, Chief, we didn't even have a resource officer. Now we got all kind of guys walking around. So, and that's a testament to our board and everybody.
While we're talking about the resource officer, not to do a total 180 here. The school board, the school levy, obviously that has effects on the township and the village and everybody in it and everybody outside around it. Not so much the money wise. I mean, Chief, from a security point of view, and I think we've touched on this before, but the schools now versus possible new buildings and everything else like that. I mean, the new buildings would help security, correct? I mean, right now there's a lot of ways to get into the schools and stuff. Is that correct? And that's what people are saying anyways.
Well, so from my understanding, you guys know me and Craig are very close. We talk. Actually, I just was at the high school with them today. We just did a little promo video last week, and the schools in the village, it's my understanding that there's 9 doors that are broken. We have a monthly security meeting, and we're actually having it on Thursday. All the SROs, the 2 chiefs, and then the team from the school get together. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about is the doors in the village. I believe there's 9 doors that right now that aren't functioning properly. But I can only attest to the high school. Okay. We have 2 SROs there, and those doors are all secured by the 2 SROs. We've actually, when we added the second one, we really came in hot and heavy with people propping the doors open, to the, where we would start an email chain like, hey, Chief, just to let you know, this door was propped open. I'd then send it to Matt McKenzie and, Craig saying, hey, look, we can't have these doors propped open. And then, that happened in Texas where the door was open and, the guy got in the school through the open door. And so then, I was like, that's it, we're done. Craig knew, and he was on the same page. So right now the high school is a very secure place, to the best of my knowledge. Of course, with new things, they'll learn from, the past, schools, and they'd probably be able to do a better job with the doors and locks and video cameras and things like that. It would all be upgraded. But as far as, what I know right now, the high school is secure, but I do believe there's issues in the village.
There's the middle school's scary, man. The middle school,
and again, it's not Chief Lambert, it's not the police officers. They're doing their jobs down there.
Structure.
Not the schools, there's 2 buildings, they're old, and there's doors everywhere.
Well, let's face it, when all of us went to school, you could just walk in any door and walk out any door. It didn't matter. You didn't have to worry about it. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I could sneak out of school, go to, we went to South Range in North Lima. I could sneak out of the school. No one would know I was gone, go to Dairy Queen and then come back. Like that's just, you can get in and out of the school without a problem. Now there's just no way I feel safe with that anymore. So, I got to tell you a good story too, real fast, Chief.
You went to the Dairy Mart, right? You didn't have a Dairy Queen out there.
No, we had a Dairy Queen.
We had a Dairy Queen. Yeah, North Lima always had.
Right on 7 there. It was the weird. You never went out. You're from the city. You never went out to North Lima. You never went out to Dairy Queen.
The North Lima Dairy Queen. That one was notorious for smelling like sewage. It wasn't. It wasn't a very great spot.
I had to drop off my 7th grader's football pads for him because he left them at home. And I go to the door and I don't want to say his name, but a counselor let me in.
Oh, my buddy.
Let me in without me buzzing because he knew who I was. The freaking cop that was there. It was like, and I had my hat and my hood on, so I don't think he knew who I was. But yeah, I don't think she knew who I was. I think there's a lady, right? SRO in the high school.
Yeah.
Greg?
No, there's two males.
Okay, maybe it was one of the guys. And I go in like that. She's like, I don't want to say the guy's name. You can't let people in without checking in. And he's like, and I don't care if we know who this guy is or not. And I'm like, sounds good. Sorry, they'll check in next time. It was good. Because I mean, it's true though. I mean, he was all over me as soon as I got in there. I was like, to be honest, it makes me feel better about things when you do that, for sure.
Let me tell you that we got 3 SROs.
Yeah.
And those 3 guys, they're phenomenal cops.
Yeah.
We got, they're seasoned veterans, and they're in the schools. The schools are very fortunate to have them.
Awesome. Let's see here. What else do we got going on here? Anything else you guys want to, what else? Anything else going on? Oh, neighborhood watch.
You missed it.
I know.
You missed it.
Dude,
you disappointed me so bad.
I know. I had to miss it. I have too many freaking kids doing too many different sports. But
you saw what I did for you too, right?
Isaac, gave me the bat signal for my.
In my PowerPoint presentation, whenever I said his name as being one of the team leaders, a bat flew in from the right hand side to his name.
Yeah,
and I was very impressed by it because I'm not a real high tech type of guy, but I was working on Google Slides. And I seen this animation thing, and I started going through it. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a bat, and he wanted to be Batman. And then he doesn't show up.
I know. Isaac, I said, he's like, we need a name for everybody's little area to where the vineyards. I said, no, this is going to be Gotham City. And I'm going to be Batman.
The Office was Knights of the Night. They were the Knights of the Night.
So we had probably 60 to 70 people show up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, awesome.
No, and the neighborhood watch program. So I think we're at 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we're at 9 different locations now throughout the township.
Wow.
Again, we had the Arrow Road, Struthers Road area started it for us. There's been other neighborhood watches in the past. We're just doing them a little bit different.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
So it's a new one. This is Marshall. He's 7 weeks old.
Fostering it?
Yeah, we're fostering it.
Oh my God, look at him.
7 weeks. And he is the greatest dog. He's already crate trained at 7 weeks old.
Wow.
He's a good little. So, yeah. So we've had him before, but right. It's in hyperdrive right now. I'm getting emails. I'm getting telephone calls daily for other areas.
Awesome.
So it's really great. The input, that's what we love, is we love the input. When people sit there and they say, hey, look, in the past, or even right now, we wish you would do this. We wish, that's what we're looking for. We want to know, how we can service your area better. And what's great about it is they all love them, babe. Every area is different. So you take, Lions Boulevard to Venlo, they have different issues than what you do in your neighborhood.
Right.
Just because, of where, people are obviously different areas of Poland, they have different issues. And so, that's why we divide them up in the manageable areas. And, the thing we hear a lot is speeding.
Yep.
That's the number one complaint is speeding. And that's why we have the the radar signs that we purchased last year, and we have a grant out for additional radar signs that are a little bit smaller and a little bit more portable, so we can get them around the community a little bit more, because then we're able to put those up and we're actually able to create a database of the speed on the street, so we can take it back to the people and say, okay, look, we had it here for a month, we've had it here for 2 weeks, this is what we've come up with, these are the speeds, this is the average speed times, and we're able to show them. A lot of times it comes up that people really aren't speeding as much as what people that are on their porch or cutting their grass feel that people are going. It's just when you see a car, but actually when it's monitored by the speed sign, it's not as bad. So
Chief, I don't know if you're watching us yet or not, or followed us by that point. Isaac, do you remember when we had the softball speed gun and we were out on Spittler and we were videotaping us? We went out on Spittler because people were complaining about people speeding on Spittler, and we sat in the church parking lot with a softball gun and we're shooting cars coming. Not that many people were speeding, right, Isaac?
No.
I was really surprised, like a couple, but I mean, it was more than not. It was all like 35, 37. Like, it was weird. I was really thinking we were going to
take a lot into our own hands. We were like, anybody who was speeding, we're like, slow down. It was great.
Yeah, we gave out gift cards to people not speeding. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. So, what else? That neighborhood watch. So if anybody's interested, they just call you.
Yeah, they can. So on our Facebook page, and again, I just invite everybody to hit our Facebook page up. You want to know what we're doing? It's on our Facebook page. Follow us. I think we were just under 2,000 in 2022. We're almost up to 5,000 now. I'd love for people to see what we're doing. I'm very proud of our department, proud of our guys. I try to put, I make the big joke of it whenever they see me coming and they see me pull out my cell phone. They're like, come on, man, are you really going to take pictures of us? And I'm like, yep, I'm going to take pictures of you.
Are you running the Facebook page? Is that you?
Yeah. Yep.
You did great. You're doing a good job, man. I mean,
wow,
that's
thank
impressive.
you.
That's impressive.
It's time consuming, but you know what? It's important that our residents know that we're out there and what we're doing. If they don't see it, they don't know.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's Facebook the social media is huge to get the word out. So
yeah, so on there it'll tell you Diane Daly, DIANNE.daily at PolandTownship.gov. You can email us and we'll get it going.
There you go.
What are the responsibilities of the neighborhood watch?
What's the responsibilities?
Yeah,
observe, report.
So we got there's a team leader, 1 to 2 team leaders, depending on what the area is. And essentially what we're trying to do is just get together. We'll have meetings. It's getting to actually know your community, because the sense of community, sense of neighborhoods has really gone away. And so it's an opportunity just to get together with your neighbors, get together with law enforcement, have conversations with so we know what's going on in your neighborhood. You can feel better talking to us in a setting like that. We try to do them round table style. There's nobody in charge. It's just a good time to get together and exchange information. And what we're working on right now is communication. We're using a GroupMe app. So like on my phone, like right now I have 9 different groups that are set up, by what our neighborhood watches are. And, it's a good way to stay in communication. And the communication isn't like, hey, there's somebody walking in my backyard. That would be a 911 call, to get us out there. It's more of a, like we had an issue. So on Facebook the other day, we put a guy that walked up to a door, and we're looking for information on that guy because, the activity was suspicious to the homeowner. Homeowner doesn't know him. Homeowner doesn't know the car, calls us and says, hey, look, this is what happened. And he even says, like, I didn't hear it, but he, according to him, the homeowner, he said the door is unlocked, like he's talking to somebody, like on a cell phone or something like that. That's,
Sketch.
So, he thought it was suspicious. So, he's able to reach out on GroupMe, and say, hey, look, probably he did call us and we did respond. But after that, it was like, hey, Chief, here's the video. What do you want me to do? Send it via, email, and, we get it worked out. But it's just another avenue to keep connected with the community.
Wow. I love it. Well, I'll be at the next meeting. When's our next meeting?
We have to set it up. You got to. So did you get my? Well, no, you didn't. Because nobody showed up from your neighborhood. Not one person.
I was supposed to go. I know that was my responsibility.
Did you pass out the flyers?
What flyer?
Not a chance, Chief. Not a chance.
You were supposed to come to the police department, pick up the flyers, and then pass them out.
Zero.
I'll be there
flyers
tomorrow,
handed
Chief.
out.
I'll be there tomorrow.
No, the meeting's already over, man.
Hey, listen, Chief. Listen, Chief. I know you want to blame Luke, but it's the 21st century. We don't use flyers. You send everybody a picture and say, hey, send this to everybody in your neighborhood. That's what you do. You don't go hand out flyers.
To be fair, I'd like to take a little credit for the 60 people you got there because I was firing it out on social media. To be fair, I was trying to help as well as I could.
I believe you are a great resource to getting information out there. Yes.
Now,
I would agree with that.
No one from my own neighborhood went because I kind of neglected my actual job duties, but
we'll get it together. We'll go, since nobody showed up, we'll do it. So the very first one, we have an initial meeting. It's an overview of everything. So we'll have one with your neighborhood.
Yeah. Late to the party. How do I get involved on Venlo? There you go. Call the station, right?
No, Venlo already has one. So she or he, I can't see. I'm on my phone because my computer didn't seem to work today. So Diane, DIANNE .daily, DAILEY, at PolandTownship.gov. And it's on the Facebook page. So if you go on our Facebook page, you'll see the email address is on there. Email her, give her, she'll need an email she'll have your email since you're emailing her, but give her your name and cell phone number, and we'll add you to the GroupMe list, and then we'll add you to the roster for the Benlow to Lions Boulevard area.
There you go.
You should get awesome uniforms for your neighborhood and just flex on all the other communities and be like, listen, we got you come into our neighborhood
uniforms
and just try it,
uniforms. Yeah. It's gonna be me walking around in a uniform in my neighborhood. It's insane.
Right. Like a little flashlight.
Yeah, no way.
So I've already talked to Tommy Monis. Tommy Monis, is our road department superintendent, and he's ordered the signs. So we got some signs. We'll put it up, right as you come into your development there, that it's a neighborhood watch area. So that's in the works, as well as all the neighborhoods where signs are on order.
I love it. All right. Well, we're at an hour. So, Eric, you're quiet over there. Sorry, man. We're talking to the chief over there.
Hey, Chief does a great job, man. I'm just here for support and making sure that we understand what this levy is all about. No new monies and
awesome. No new money. That's it, right? That's all we got to say about the levy. And I'll do a clip tomorrow, Chief, and I'll share it so you can share it of what earlier when you were saying no new money, just to get it out there. It might be good to share.
Yeah.
And then I'll share it too. And then you guys got my vote for sure. There's no way I would not vote for the police department ever in a million years. So you guys have done a great job across the board. We live in what, sixth safest place? Isn't that what it was in Ohio?
That's it, my man.
So how do you beat that, right?
Fifth, fourth, third, second, and first. And that's my goal. Hey, when that came out, I was like, all right, guys, what are we doing wrong? And
he wasn't happy.
My sergeants looked at me. They were like, what do you mean? And I go, we're sixth. You don't understand. I want to be number one.
I like it.
I want this community to be number one, not sixth.
How do they say sixth?
How do they rank?
What's the rankings, like break-ins or?
No, real quick. We submit all of our reports to the FBI. And the FBI is the one that tabulates all the reports. I suspect that there's some some places that might not be submitting all their reports. But that's just a thought. I'm not accusing anybody, but we submit everything.
There you go.
So
That makes sense. Freaking FBI. All right. Well,
it's not their fault, man. they only can calculate what they get.
I just said that, and Isaac, I just said that. It looks like a helicopter's coming in behind me right now.
Yeah.
Is that the moon?
It's the moon. Isn't that crazy?
It's really bright. Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks like
crazy. All right. Well, guys,
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate you guys coming on as always. You guys need anything, let me know, or let Isaac know. We're always here to support you guys and get the word out on
I
stuff.
need you to adopt that puppy I just had.
I would. I got too many cats. Isaac. Yeah, I'm buried, man. I'm buried. I got kids and everything else like that. There was no way.
2 dogs, 2
Excuses.
cats over here, so I'm good.
Hey, look, Jose just said we'll end on this. Jose Shantz just said if we raid Luke's house, we might move up a spot. I want Chief Wilson swinging in my front window on like one of the SWAT team ropes through the windows. That's what I want. That's my dream.
I think that would be fun.
That's my dream come true. Well, guys, thank you so much for
thank you,
joining
guys.
us. We appreciate it, and
Yep.
I'm sure we'll talk to you guys again soon. Good luck on the
See
levy,
you guys. Be good.
and like I said, Chief, I'll share all that stuff tomorrow.
Cool. Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All
Thank
right,
you,
bye.
Chief. You guys take care.
See you, Eric.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Booted. Aren't those good guys? Those are good guys. Those
Awesome
are
guys.
two good guys, man. Really good guys. Next week, Thursday at 7:45, we have Joe's coming on from the it's like an EMVET. It's a big thing to support the veterans. He's coming on at 7:45. We're gonna have a little pre-show, and then we're gonna do an MLO Bros talk back on at 8:30. Is that cool?
Let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. I
What
guess I'm not gonna sit here and defend issue 2 when you have a guy, you know what I mean? Like you have a guy that dealt with that. It's like I'm not gonna.
That's where you're like, I get where he's coming from. I know why he's gonna vote no. I'm still voting.
Even his point was like, people have their opinions, and that's just that. And it's like you're not gonna change that guy's mind. Like I could sit here and list off like, oh, do you enjoy beer? Do you ever drink beer? It's just that. But it's like, damn, dude.
Isaac, you're not going to change. And that's the thing. It's like, and I've kind of figured that out now after doing this. You're not going to change anybody's mind on Facebook. Now,
right.
Maybe if they're in the middle and they don't know what they're talking about, you know what I mean? They're not familiar. You might grab them. Like maybe Eric just said, you know what? There's somebody that is, I don't know. Now I'm going to vote no. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I think you have people on the right, people on the left, yes, no. And then you have people in the middle that might go one way or the other. Does that make sense?
You have like a man who grew up in the system of coaching and teaching, and he's disciplined in his way, like no drugs or alcohol. You know what I mean? Just always been like that. It's like 100%. You're not going to convince. And
his brother died from drugs, and
right.
Sounds like his family's got a problem. I mean, of course you're not going to.
Which at the start of every episode of that Painkiller, which is about Oxycontins on Netflix. At the start of every episode, they have a mom. And it's like, hey, some of the things you'll see in this show are dramatized. But what's not dramatized is the fact that my son got addicted to Oxycontins and died. That's not true. That happened. Yeah. So like before every single episode, it's crazy. But great show.
I'm going to watch. That's on my list, and so is The Fall of the House of Usher. That everyone in the world is telling me to watch. It's a terrifying show for Halloween.
Have you ever seen the episode where of South Park where they talk about drugs, they talk about weed and if it should be legal or not? It's actually really good. And Randy Marsh, like Randy and his wife, try the entire episode to get Stan to not like weed, right? But they're both actively smoking it, but they're trying to make it look like it's the worst thing in the world. Right. And like over and over and over and over, Stan keeps coming to them with all these excuses, and they're like hiding it from him that they're doing it, but they're like, no, we don't want you to do it. And then it ultimately comes down to like this explanation at the end where they sit him down and they're like, listen. And it actually like totally convinced me that marijuana is in alcohol is something that like people do to relieve stress. You know,
Yes,
to just relax, to just, you know, not
Chill.
think about the world's problems and
take your mind off of things.
But the problem is, like they say in the show, he's like, but the problem is we don't want you to get into it, because if you get into it and we don't, like, life is worth living, and we don't want you to like lean so far into it that you just use it to escape reality forever and like become a bum. Like, so there is that happy medium of drugs and alcohol where it's like booze. Like, you're actively taking happiness away from tomorrow because you're going to have a hangover when you drink. So you're actively taking your happiness away from tomorrow,
taking away from tomorrow. Yep.
And bringing it to today. So it's like, you can't.
Why do you like getting drunk?
It's nothing more than a social lubricant. To me, it's a tool.
It's a tool to loosen you up,
right?
To make you not care.
It's a tool. Yeah, it's nothing more. Like, I'm not going to sit here and drink beer by myself,
right?
Because that's not why I use it. I use it. I use it to lube the pipes, to talk to as a social lubricant, to talk to people.
Jose will only smoke weed on Sundays after the Browns game. So, I might become a Sunday pothead for the Browns game.
Yeah, but like, you can abuse anything. So like, if you're using weed to relax at the end of the day, you know, people do that, but at the same time, you're not getting good sleep. If you're smoking weed every night before bed, you're not getting good sleep, and I hope people realize that. I'm not going to sit here and smoke, and I'm not going to sit here and do edibles to relax. I know some people do that, but it's like,
my little gummies put me to sleep. I'm not going to lie.
Do they have THC in them?
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to answer that question.
But it's like, I think too much of it, I don't think you get good sleep. I don't think you feel tired, but I don't think you get good sleep when you're under.
I like melatonin too. Melatonin's another good one.
Right.
Not a drug, not illegal. All right. Well, we'll be back on Thursday. This will be good talk. Let's talk about this some more on Thursday. I like this. This is good talk. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah,
and don't forget, we're loan officers. If you ever need a home loan, mortgage rates are so good right now. Give us a call.
Absolutely fabulous.
Oh, fantastic! Mortgage rates
they didn't jump a whole percentage point in like 2 weeks or anything.
They're definitely not 8% right now if you have really good credit.
They're definitely not over 8. Definitely.
They're definitely not. You should refinance. If you have a bunch of credit card debt, you should refi.
Honestly, from purely a cash flow perspective, if you have a lot of credit cards and you have equity in your house, it would be better to refinance and pay off that debt.
I agree.
You can still prove that it is still viable. So
you can do it if you save a bunch of money. I mean, we refinance a couple people.
I have one right now.
Yeah, awesome. So, all right, we'll be back Thursday. See you guys all later.
I'm tired. Legal or not, people are still going to find weed. Absolutely, Jose. And you're a cop.
Freaking cop.
I just don't like. Did you get what I was saying with the chief? I don't like giving the police leverage over me. I don't want to be in your hands like, oh no, don't worry, big guy. No, I'm freaking worrying. Like, no, I don't want you guys to have like, if you don't want
it's like, right, you want it legal or not legal. You don't want to be walking down the road with the joint and they could arrest you or they couldn't arrest you.
Yeah. I don't want to leave it up to the interpretation of the police. I'd rather know what is legal and what's not.
Like you said, it's the speeding ticket thing. It's like,
if it's not a big deal, then make it legal so that it's not a big deal.
I agree. It's like, oh, I know. At like football games where it's illegal, like Ohio State, you know, you're not technically allowed to walk around with beer in like certain parts around like the stadium,
right?
But everybody does,
right?
That to me is terrifying. And they're the cops don't care. The cops don't care. That cop can still arrest your ass,
right? If they want an excuse for something else, they can use that to get to you. That's what I don't.
I don't like that at all. That makes me nervous. So. All right, we'll see everybody Thursday. I'm gonna go.
Oh, I forgot to ask him something too.
Goodbye, Isaac.
Bye, everybody.